Moscow, the day after. Cheers go up as another symbol of communist oppression comes down. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. This is the day they tore down the statue of the KGB. A new beginning for Mikhail Gorbachev and the Soviet Union. Gorbachev's back and cleaning some house and denouncing those who plotted to overthrow him. Correspondent Anthony Mason in Moscow begins our coverage of Gorbachev's return.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev.
Restored to power and returned from captivity, Mikhail Gorbachev today admitted that the coup which toppled him for 72 hours was in part his own mistake, an act of betrayal by his own close aides.
People whom I, myself, promoted, whom I believed, whom I trusted, and they turned out to be not only participants in that plot, but organizers of that conspiracy.
Returning early this morning from the vacation home where he'd been held with his family and security guards, Gorbachev said his captors had surrounded his house and cut all outside communication. Their aim, he said, was to break the president, but I would have considered suicide rather than give in to their conspiracy. Gorbachev remembered the exact time, the 18th of August,
10 minutes to 5 p.m.
when the phone suddenly went dead and he was told the delegation demanded to see him. They carried an ultimatum that he resign.
So I said to them, you and those who sent you are adventurers. You will ruin yourselves, but goddamn you, that's up to you. If you want to ruin yourselves, but you will ruin the country and what we've begun.
Gorbachev produced a tape of a statement he'd recorded in captivity, the real story which he was hoping to have smuggled out. On Moscow street corners today, crowds stopped to listen to Gorbachev tell his story. But many Soviets have not been sympathetic. Anyone could see these men were scoundrels, said this Soviet journalist. Why did you appoint them to your government? Defense Minister Dmitry Yazov, Gorbachev said, seemed moderate, and he thought KGB Chief Khrushchev a cultured man. But even his personal security chief, Medvedev, betrayed him.
So maybe I don't know certain things. You will say, this does not clear me of responsibility that I should have known. Well, you see a man for whom this is great personal drama. This is one thing that I have to say, that this is a severe test for me to be so disappointed.
Gorbachev returned to his duties today, greeting European ambassadors. He's promised a regrouping of his government, but he insists the Communist Party can still be reformed, and he has no plans to abandon it.
I am a committed socialist.
But that principle may now pose the greatest threat to Gorbachev's leadership. The Democrats who saved him, like Yeltsin, Shevardnadze, and Yakovlev, are fast moving away from the party. Gorbachev said today he's learned some valuable lessons in the last 72 hours, but many Democrats are already saying the coup did not teach him enough. Dan?
Thanks, Anthony. And what about the group of 8 who tried to topple Gorbachev? Some were nobodies, but some were once among the most powerful men in the Soviet Union. Now Gorbachev's trusted vice president arrested, the prime minister in the hospital, the defense minister arrested, chairman of the KGB arrested, interior minister committed suicide, first deputy chairman of the defense council as a member of parliament, he's immune from arrest. The president of the Association of State Enterprises arrested, and the head of the Farmers Union also has parliamentary immunity. CBS News has obtained exclusive videotape of 2 of the coup leaders showing them in captivity tonight in an undisclosed location outside Moscow. KGB chairman Vladimir Khrushchev and former defense minister Dmitry Yazov, who's not seen on camera, spoke with a Soviet journalist. Afraid, both men expressed regret for what they did, and Yazov said he still has deep respect for Gorbachev. Perhaps the biggest loser in the wake of the bungled coup is the Communist Party. CBS News chief European correspondent Tom Fenton reports angry Muscovites hammered away at the party today.
Young Soviets scrambled to the top of the giant statue of Felix Dzerzhinsky, founder of the Soviet secret police. In full view of KGB headquarters, they attached a noose to the neck of the most hated symbol of communist repression. City policemen didn't know what to do. They had never seen anything like this.
I am sure that the organization is criminal, that the leaders of the Communist Party, that they are criminals, and they should be put on trial.
Tens of thousands of Soviets were drawn today to this sinister place where no citizen dared linger in the old days.
Several years ago, I was questioned in this house for talking to foreigners.
Like you're talking to me.
Yes, like talking to you.
But today, it was KGB agents who were afraid, cowering inside their headquarters.
No, we are not afraid to look at those windows. And that's really the moment, historical.
Something fundamental has happened here. People have lost their fear of the most repressive arm of the communist apparatus. And once they lose that fear, the balance of power has been changed in this country. Party members were hotly criticized in the streets. You sold out Russia, says this woman. At least we're working, not shouting like you, says the man. Another citizen retorts, but you are exploiting the workers. But physical attacks were limited to symbols of the hated past. Tonight, the street sign of Marx Avenue was smashed under the nose of the police. A swastika was daubed on the front of KGB headquarters. And then there was a public hanging of the statue of Dzerzhinsky in front of the House of Terror that he founded. With a roar of approval from the crowd, he was lifted off the pedestal where he had loomed over Moscow, and the KGB was revealed to be a hollow giant. Dzerzhinsky was carted off to the dustbin of history, and with him the Soviets hope tonight a system that kept the communists in power in this country for more than 7 decades. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Moscow.
For Boris Yeltsin, this was a day to enjoy newfound power and hard-won respect. Jonathan Sanders is outside Yeltsin's stronghold tonight, the Russian Parliament building. Jonathan?
Dan, once regarded simply as the blunt bulldozer of radical reform, Boris Yeltsin emerged today a national hero. The Russian Parliament's standing ovation for its president had hardly ended when the chairman said, "We are victorious, victorious because our cause was just." The Russian national anthem has become a virtual fanfare for this uncommon common man, building engineer turned leader. He and his huge republic defied the coup and won rewards for the entire nation. Russia saved democracy, he said, and the history books will write, Russia saved the Union. The tanks surrounding Yeltsin's building left for good just after dawn, and outside the parliament, yet another enormous rally celebrated a people's army that empowered both the resistance and Yeltsin. This week in the Soviet capital, 3 chants became synonymous. Freedom, Russia, Yeltsin. All day it was rumored that Gorbachev would break with tradition and pay Yeltsin and the Russian parliament a courtesy call. It did not happen. But Gorbachev's best and brightest did come. Alexander Yakovlev, the godfather of Glasnost, said, Yeltsin has brought the empire to an end. He has brought freedom to all people. The people of Moscow carried Russia's pre-Soviet flag from Parliament to Red Square today. As one person put it, from Yeltsin's building of light to the heart of darkness. In more than 1,000 years of Russian and Soviet history, Democrats have seldom triumphed. This is one of those all-too-rare incidents of democracy riding high, at least for now, with a courageous Siberian in the saddle. Dan?
Jonathan Sanders, thank you. New indications that it was, as much as anything else, the inability of the coup leaders to command the big red military machine that helped to do them in. Jim Stewart, our man at the Pentagon, has been told that of the 180 Red Army divisions, only 15 were ever alerted by the coup leaders. Only 5 divisions ever left their garrisons. The failed coup is being seen as a blessing in disguise in the Baltic states, a new chance to put additional pressure on President Bush and advance the cause of independence. Peter Van Sant is in Estonia.
Like a beaten enemy, Soviet troops early this morning retreat from Tallinn, Estonia, after the coup they supported collapsed. It was a feeling of victory for the Estonian people, who had feared their dreams of independence would be crushed. At first light, the last of the soldiers rode out of town.
We don't belong to Soviet Union anymore.
Barricades still surround the Estonian parliament. The only soldiers left in town are unarmed Estonian guards.
Leaders of Estonia's government today called on the West to recognize Estonia as a sovereign nation. Political leaders say the failed coup in Moscow has given new life and legitimacy to their independence movement.
It gave more speed to historical development, and barriers which were obstacle for us, they were broken by this coup.
In Latvia, celebrations started yesterday with an independence rally and a parliament vote to secede from the Soviet Union.
The only right thing was to pass this declaration and to declare Latvia an independent state.
Latvians cheered as Soviet soldiers boarded buses. A report claims they left behind 4 dead and at least 10 wounded in an especially cruel crackdown. In Lithuania today, emboldened President Landsbergis demanded acceptance of his republic's independence and called on President Gorbachev to give his people justice and freedom. There is a festive mood in the Baltics tonight, a belief that their enemies, as well as Gorbachev's, have been swept aside, and that real independence may be within their grasp. Peter Van Sant, CBS News, Tallinn.
White House correspondent Susan Spencer joins us now live from President Bush's vacation headquarters in Maine. Susan, the pressure remains on President Bush to change policy toward the Baltics.
It does indeed, Dan, but President Bush still insists that formal recognition of the Baltic states would be premature and that the coup hasn't really changed that. Nonetheless, today he was urging Gorbachev to seize the opportunity and speed up the process of granting the Baltics independence.
That would do more to enhance goodwill in the United States than almost any other single thing that could be done.
It also would be an acknowledgement and a tip of the hat to Boris Yeltsin, who has long supported Baltic independence. The administration is leaving for another day decisions on precisely how it will deal with him, hoping he and Gorbachev will forge an alliance that eliminates the need to pick sides. That would mean the emergence of what one senior official today called the real Gorbachev, one who not only would grant the Baltics independence, but rein in the KGB and the military and work for speedier economic reform. Today, Mr. Bush was pushing for all of it.
With some of the harder liners on the sidelines, clearly, it perhaps frees up President Gorbachev to work very closely with President Yeltsin.
One not so very encouraging sign, Gorbachev's selection today of a General Mosaiev to be his defense chief. As one senior administration official put it, Mosaiev was at best ambivalent during the coup, adding wryly, "I wouldn't want that guy behind me in a dark hall right now." Dan?
Susan Spencer, thanks. And so, a new era begins in the Soviet Union, a new chance to overcome the ongoing crisis of the country's political, social, and economic problems. At least the coup is over. We'll be back with more of the day's news in a moment.
I thought all no-stick cooking sprays were just like Pam. Boy, was I wrong.
Only Pam is all natural with no preservatives. Only Pam.
And Pam adds virtually no fat or calories. For healthier meals.
All natural Pam, a healthier way to cook.
Did you know that when Alexander Graham Bell was about to invent the telephone, he stopped work because he ran out of money? Today at AT&T, we understand how important money is to a small business. So we developed AT&T Pro Watts, our discount calling plan that gives you AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices. At AT&T, almost half our business comes from small business. When you succeed, we succeed.
I need a laxative that can work dependably.
Doxadan can.
But can it be gentle?
Doxadan can. Doxadan works dependably overnight with a special ingredient for gentle relief.
Dependable, yes.
Gentle, yes.
Doxadan can.
In the aftermath of the collapsed coup in Moscow, world financial markets were up again today, regaining more of their losses. In New York, the Dow added another 5.5 points to yesterday's 88-point surge. Now, here's a look at some other stories CBS News is covering. In New England, they're still assessing the damage, and thousands remain without power after Monday's hurricane. More heavy rain since Monday has slowed the cleanup. In Charlotte, North Carolina, former TV preacher Jim Bakker was brought to court in shackles, seeking a reduction of his 45-year sentence for fraud and conspiracy. Bakker's wife, Tammy Faye, also showed up for the hearing. In Talladega, Alabama, dozens of armed Cuban detainees at a federal prison are threatening to kill 10 hostages unless the government cancels plans to deport the Cubans. Deteriorating race relations is a national story. In Brooklyn, New York, a new example of how mistrust and misunderstanding between groups can flare into violence has been developing over the last few days. In this case, two minorities sharing a neighborhood. As correspondent Harold Dow reports, it is neighbor against neighbor in the streets.
Ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jews and African Americans, two distinct cultures trying to live together peacefully in America's biggest melting pot. But that pot has been boiling over with hatred for the last 3 nights, a racial feud that has left dozens of people injured. It began on Monday when a car driven by an Hasidic Jew went out of control and hit 2 black children. The violence erupted shortly after a Jewish-owned ambulance whisked away the Jewish driver, leaving the 2 black children on the sidewalk. One of the black children died, and black leaders are blaming the driver of the Jewish-owned ambulance. Hasidic leaders disagree, saying the ambulance driver was following police orders that he should save the Jewish driver from an angry mob that had gathered at the scene. And just 2 hours later, in an apparent act of revenge, a Jewish student who had nothing to do with the accident was stabbed to death, allegedly by a black teenager who was later arrested. But an angry black community is asking New York Mayor David Dinkins why the Jewish driver who killed the black child has not been arrested.
Say if it was a black guy behind the car and we hit a Jewish man, we would have been arrested right there.
We have a deep concern. The concern is that race relations will break down and further events will occur.
A black child killed, a Jewish student murdered, 2 innocent victims. The question now, when will it end? Harold Dow, CBS News, New York.
Stay with us now for more CBS News, including Eye on America. Tonight, the mind behind serial killings.
It's a car born of intelligent engineering. It's 100,000 ideas fused into one. It's powerful, smooth, refined. It's a driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes. Introducing the all-new 88 Royale LS. Oldsmobile, come see the power of intelligent engineering.
If you're looking to maintain regularity, look here. There's a drug-free way to do it, and Kellogg's All Brand can be an important part. Because a high-fiber diet, including Kellogg's All Brand, can give you the fiber you need to help stay regular, drug-free. And All Brand goes a lot better with berries. A high-fiber diet and Kellogg's All Brand for drug-free regularity.
Whirlpool thinks a great dishwasher is one you're hardly aware of. Built to quietly do its job for years so it seems all but invisible. If you want a dishwasher so well built you don't have to think about it, think about Whirlpool.
It begins at dawn. They've come for you, and they want what you have. It's your bed, your Serta Perfect Sleeper, but it's the most comfortable spot in the house. It's why people are saying, I want my Serta.
The best reporter in Moscow joins the best team in television to add his special touch to just about the best story we ever remember covering. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
In Milwaukee, confessed serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was hit with 3 more homicide charges today. That's 15 so far. Cases such as Dahmer's are, at the same time, terrifying and fascinating. Bob Fall reports tonight's Eye on America. Who are these people who kill and kill and kill again?
Look at or listen to him, and he's the boy next door. Look and listen closely, though, and you'll find America's worst serial killer.
When I was unhappy, I killed people. When I was happy, I didn't kill nobody.
Donald Harvey, unfailingly polite and gentle, remembered by his elementary school principal as a precious little boy, was convicted of murdering 37 people. He also, he says, killed almost 50 more.
Once I killed the first one, and the second one, I don't think there was any stopping. I never once had any guilt, never once shed any tears. I was like Sherman going through Atlanta, destroy everything in my path, and that's what I did.
What Donald Harvey, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, the son of Sam, and others did was unspeakable, but in many ways they seemed so ordinary. Almost without exception, serial killers held down jobs and fit in. Privately, though, they are tormented, often having been sexually abused as children.
Most of these serial killers have an excessive need for dominance, control, power. They know what they're doing is wrong, but they do it anyway. They simply don't care about human life.
They enjoy the feeling as they squeeze their victim's last breath of life in their body. It makes them feel so powerful. They like to feel like they're playing God.
I'm a control freak. I just like to be controlled. That is your reward.
Did you get pleasure out of taking their lives?
The pleasure I got was the control.
There are more movies nowadays about serial killers than ever before, and more serial killers, too, according to FBI analysts. 29 documented in the 1970s, compared to just 28 in the previous 70 years. And the question is why? Some social scientists argue the stress of modern society has caused more borderline personalities to break down. A society where aggression is honored, where violence is often glamorized. And in what some have labeled a culture of hate.
I pulled a hair, wrap him in the head a few times.
Where black and white racism smolder, where rap lyrics exhort mayhem, and attack comedians get rich, savaging others.
And this midget gay Shriner looking.
A culture of hate can feed sick minds.
For the serial killer, it gives him license. He's already at the fringe of society. He doesn't feel very guilty to begin with, and now we push him over the edge.
This is one of the conditions that allows serial murderers to develop. Our whole culture has become less obsessed with moral responsibility. More people feel licensed to do what they want to do, including the serial killers.
Can serial killers be spotted beforehand? Mike Pike's father, Joseph, was murdered by Donald Harvey.
Don't look for your deviants to have horns. Realize it's the guy next door.
Do you regard yourself as a sick person?
No. I'm the same person I was on the street, except for the killing part. I'm still someone's brother, someone's son. I'm still the same.
Ultimately, neither Hollywood nor the serial killer's own words fully explain what ignites them. What we do know, however, that they are so different, yet so much like the rest of us, is terrifying enough. Bob Fall, CBS News, Lebanon, Ohio.
We've just found a way to make Nabisco spoon-sized shredded wheat even better. Every shredded wheat biscuit is now toastier and crispier because each is toasted through and through. It's almost like we let each little biscuit have its very own great day in the sun. Wake up to Nabisco shredded wheat. It tastes like it's sun-toasted.
A lot of you insist on eating wheat thins and oat thins because they taste good. But the whole idea behind these crackers is that you can eat them without feeling guilty. That's why they're baked, not fried. I mean, eat them because they're delicious, and you miss the whole point.
It's kind of throbbing, and sometimes my fingers get stiff as well.
Today, it isn't aspirin, it's Advil for minor arthritis pain.
Advil just really helps with the pain.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Last year, thousands of people got rid of their old refrigerator to buy the Maytag refrigerator with a guarantee to the year 2000. Now, the rest of you have a chance. Buy one, and if it stops working before the year 2000, we'll buy it back. See a Maytag dealer for details. See a Maytag repairman in our commercials. The Maytag refrigerator with a guarantee till the year 2000.
I'm Paula Zahn.
And I'm Harry Smith. Good news for your children. They don't have to be terrified of the dentist anymore.
Fun checkups for kids tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
Here are tomorrow's headlines about events in the Soviet Union. While Yeltsin consolidates his increased power, Gorbachev is now regrouping, naming some replacements for some of those who betrayed him and trying to build a new alliance with Yeltsin. Fireworks on the streets of Moscow as crowds that had gathered in defiance now continue party time. And anger in the streets, too. Muscovites tore down a hated symbol of the Communist Party's political police. Pretty extraordinary 4 days. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Piloting a corporate jet for Dow can be interesting and rewarding, particularly when it's an angel flight. The Corporate Angel Network uses empty seats on company business trips to fly cancer patients who need specialized treatment. Patients like Christy. Dow was the first to make over 100 of these flights. Welcome aboard, Angel. This company does great things. This is one of them.
Red Lobster announces 6 great new trios with all the tastes you love, like large butterfly shrimp.
Terrific.
Try it on our Atlantic Trio, just $6.99.
$6.99?
For a limited time, only at Red Lobster.
Now, Red Lobster's lunch menu is available Sunday, too. So many great dishes to choose from for so little. Most lunches $4.99 or less. All week at Red Lobster for lunch. Now served Sunday, too.
Everybody needs some money sometime. Everybody needs some cash sometime.
When you need money fast, only Western Union can get it to over 16,000 locations in minutes. Nobody else even comes close.
My heart just told me my sometime is
Western
now.
Union, the fastest way to send money.
Because some aches and pains don't go away when the lights go out, we've created new Tylenol PM, specially formulated with extra strength Tylenol pain reliever for those aches and pains that can keep you up at night, plus a gentle ingredient to help you sleep. So you can wake up refreshed in the morning. From the name you trust comes new Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
Eye on America's abortion war. One family is torn apart, brother against sister. What happens when the battle hits home? Find out on the CBS Evening News tomorrow. This is CBS.